First thing is the letter. I think this is going to be the envelope for the first movie. It is the thickest of all of them. Oh, what is that? Today I got something very special for you guys. This is a Dr. Collector Back to the Future Time Travel Memories kit. Try saying that 3 times. It's basically a box with all kinds of goodies that you might recognize from the 3 movies. Now, the Back to the Future series is one of my favorite series of movies ever, and Dr. Collector really has a set of awesome kits. I'm probably going to do more of these, I really like them. But the people at Dr. Collector were so nice to send me something. This is the expansion for this kit. So this is already stacked with a ton of items. Really, go check out the video. It's insane how much is in this box. But now there's more. They sent me this preview. This is not going to be released till July 19th, which is actually the day after my birthday. Huh. Now, before we start, I do have to note, they're not paying me for this. They did send me this as a preview. And all my opinions are mine, but I already know I'm going to like it, because, yeah, I am a Back to the Future fanboy. The original one is a tin case, and that will set you back about 70 bucks. I actually saw on their website they currently have a deal going on that for that 70 bucks you get this tin box and the key for the DeLorean, which I don't have. So, you'll be better off than I am. And this one can be pre-ordered right now for $37. Alright. Yeah, this one is made in cardboard, but it's not about the box itself. Oh, it's a flyer showing every other box that they currently have available. There's actually a flyer to promote the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson Research. As you might know, the lead actor for the Back to the Future series, Michael J. Fox, suffers from Parkinson's disease. Alright, I don't want to break this box. I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to open it from this side. There we go. Just pull it out. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right. But they do this thing with the 3 envelopes. And in the first box, the 3 envelopes were the 3 different movies. There's also a letter to Marty. Now, if you've seen the movies, just this envelope by itself should ring a bell. If you haven't seen the movies, this is going to be a spoiler. But yeah, there's a lot of going back and forth from the history to the future to the present. Now, at some point, Doc ends up in the Old West and he settles down. He actually writes a letter to Marty and hands it to his Western Union office with the express instructions that they need to go to a place lying in the state where Marty will end up living to find Marty in 1955 because he knows Marty is going to be right there. So those people at Western Union keep that envelope for 70 years and yeah, of course, they're kind of wondering if someone is going to show up. So Marty is standing there and someone approaches him, a guy in a trench coat, and it pulls out this letter, a letter from Doc for Marty that has been there for 70 years, and that's why it looks a little, discolored. There's like a red stain on the back. I guess he gave it a bit of a kiss. And this is the letter. Holy hell. September 1st, 1885. Your friend in time, Doc Emmett L. Brown. Look at that. It's written on the Western Union paper. It's actually 3 pages long. If you don't want to read all of it, get the box. This is cool. I love that this is the first item we got out of there. Because that was such a nice kind of plot twist. That he had written a letter and that it had remained at the Western Union offices for 70 years. And that guy really took the letter at that exact moment and Marty was there. Can you imagine being that guy or being all these people at Western Union? Anyways, first thing is the letter. I think this is going to be the envelope for the first movie. It is the thickest of all of them. Oh, what is that? Nice. Okay, I think I got everything out there. So the first thing is the collarbone for Einstein, which was the dog of Doc. And it actually has the phone number on the back. It says on the back, if I'm lost and this is the 80s, please call 916-55-4365. I love that they added that little detail. And if this is the 80s, the world's first time traveler. That's true. Einstein was the first to travel through time. In the DeLorean. Doc tested it on Einstein before he did jump in himself. The next one is a sticker that says, 1 nuclear bomb can ruin your whole day. Which is a sticker that was on the back of Doc's van. Which is a nice detail. That is kind of cool. It really is a sticker, so I could probably stick it to my car, but I'm not going to do that. Well, let me see. I already see some great items. Oh, nice. I do think it's a bit of a mix. It's not necessarily per movie. Next up is the blueprint. Now, if you've seen the movie, the way that Marty gets back from the past to the present is by using a lightning strike that will hit the town hall at a certain time. He knows when that is going to hit because that is going to freeze the clock, and it's a whole thing in the present. And that is the only thing that is powerful enough to power the car to make sure he gets back to 85. So you can see right here when the lightning is going to strike, which speed they need to hit, where they need to start. You see the DeLorean, you see the little hook that they kind of fabricated to power the car, and then this is the town hall and the line that he's going to hit. That is cool. In the corner you can see that it's in his own paper, Doc Brown, and for some reason they probably just used it once and there's coffee stains on them. Come on, guys. This is the picture from that is used in Back to the Future 3. Like in every of these movies, there's a picture that shows family members disappearing and appearing because they're kind of influencing all of the timelines, and they use pictures to check if they're kind of doing the right thing. And this is the picture they use in the third movie. It's Doc and Marty and standing in front of the clock that, you know, lightning will strike and it will freeze. Taken on September 5th, 1885. It says so on the back. Now, throughout the movie, you'll see Doc disappear because it gets in a fight and he might get killed. It's a whole thing. Seriously, if you haven't seen the movie, go watch. Next up is a news article. George McFly honored. Local author receives award. This article is, of course, the result of the changes they did in the first movie. Because at the start of the first movie, his dad is really a loser. I'm not even being harsh. It's really kind of bad. But then when Marty gets back, his dad is actually a famous author. And they are making a lot of money. And their enemies are now basically their lackeys. It's that movie, man. Seriously. But yeah, that is Marty's dad. There's also a version of this article where he supposedly is murdered because, you know, the mess in all of the timelines, but this is the final, the good one. Now, his dad is being played by Crispin Glover. Now, he did not appear in the later movies. His dad did, but he really got a minor role. But he was not being played by Crispin Glover because there had been disputes about his salary. So they didn't agree on how much he was going to get paid for these movies, so he didn't take part in them. And they fixed it by hiring another actor called Jeffrey Wiseman and by putting on makeup to make him look closer to Crispin Glover, which is kind of insane. But they were also using the camera angles to make sure you didn't really notice. I always wondered back in the day when I saw those movies why they took these weird shots. And then later I learned that it was because they didn't get the original actor back, and yeah. But yeah, they used makeup, like prosthetics, to make him look closer to the original actor. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. It's a page from a telephone book. At some moment in the first movie, Marty lands back in the past and he needs to look for Doc in that time, so in 1955. And he does so by looking in the phone book. And he rips out the page that has all the Browns in there. Yeah, and right here you have Brown, Emmett, L, scientist, Riverside Drive, 6040, and Klondike. That is kind of awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen a page in a phone book in a long time. Alright, next up is a snippet. I love that on all these articles, by the way. Like also on the one on the Telegraph, there's all these other articles on there. Like city bonds issued nears approval, compromise housing bills sent to president for okay. I wonder how much of that is kind of tied into the lore or just random stuff. But right here you have Mr. Wilson's hair balm, which I definitely could use. But this is an advert for the Hill Valley Festival. In the corner right here you see Doc in a small kind of advertisement or article about his blacksmith shop. The town of Hill Valley welcomes a new blacksmith, Emmett Brown. Because that's how he got into that village. When he traveled back to 1885, he actually he started the blacksmith. And on the other side, you can see an article about the clock being reinstated, or the courthouse. I always thought it was the town hall. Well, the town hall or the courthouse. There was going to be a ceremony to start the clock. That is going to be on the courthouse. Then I think the main is that festival where a lot of stuff happens. Alright, this is kind of cool. Like, I've talked about this in the previous video, but Twin Pines Mall is kind of an important place. That is the parking lot where everything starts out. Where they do the whole test with Einstein and then they get attacked because Doc stole some uranium from terrorists. That all happens right there, and there's a small detail that not a lot of people know. But at some point in the movie, Marty runs over one of the pine trees that the mall is named after. And the moment he gets back to the present, that mall has changed names to Lone Pine Mall, which is a small detail that a lot of people didn't notice. But the main thing here is the used cars, and yeah, there's a DeLorean in there. That is probably the DeLorean that Doc bought to turn it into the time machine. The DeLoreans were really not popular cars. They looked really snazzy, they looked very impressive, but apparently they were really bad cars. There's a postcard for Hill Valley, which is the little village that everything is set in. Hill Valley, California. It's actually a pretty card. And there's a picture of Einstein. Look at him. Alright, there's a guitar pick in here. That is really cool. The pinheads. The pinheads from Hill Valley. So Marty loved to play the guitar. There's this one scene in the first movie, actually at the start, where he plays this huge amp that Doug has set up. And he basically blows up the whole amp. But the Pinheads was actually his band that he played on the school, I don't know, was it the school contest or something? That was Marty's own band, was called the Pinheads. So, this is a pin for Biff's own casino that he has in the second movie. And Biff is the main villain in the whole series. Well, at least his family line are the main villains. Fun thing is that the actor that plays all those characters is actually a very nice guy. He has a YouTube channel and he's a pleasure to watch. But yeah, Biff Tanner's Pleasure Paradise. He calls himself the luckiest man on earth, and that has a reason. If you've seen the movie, well, that's where the almanac comes in. Oh, look at that. And this is another picture of Einstein, Dog's dog, a Polaroid this time around. Alright, cool. As I figured, I think the envelopes are kind of a mix. The first one was already really good. On to the second envelope. First one is a student card for Marty. So it has his picture on there. Martin Seamus McFly. Do they still do that? I don't think so, right? Second one is a newspaper article. It is Marty's son, Marty McFly Jr., that is getting arrested for theft. His son is kind of like turning out to be like his granddad before the whole thing happened in the first movie. Yeah, I don't want to use the word again, but you know what I mean. There's actually a weather forecast at the back for California. All right, next up. Oh, this is lovely. It's a picture of Emmett, Doc, with his future wife, Clara. So this is taken in 1885. He meets her in that time zone. She is actually a teacher. And yeah, at the end of the movie, you see them together. And on the back of the picture, it says in Emmett's handwriting, it's also signed by him, it says, "You are my one in Googleplex." And Googleplex is something that he says. He says 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,000,000, 1 in Googleplex. It's his way of expressing how unique he thinks she is. So that is a beautiful picture. Look at that. And that's what he wrote on the back of it. I like that. That's nice. Another newspaper article for the Hill Valley Telegraph. It's actually funny, I can't find a date on here. I know which date it is, but all these newspapers used to have a date on them. Well, it is the news article that reports on the fact that lightning has struck the clock at the courthouse, at the town hall, and that it actually stopped at the exact time of 10:04. It's kind of funny, there's no mentioning of anything that Doc was doing around there. They're just kind of deliberating how long it will take for the clock to be fixed. But that was that incident. Or the article after that incident. So basically, the article the day after Marty went back. Oh, I think I know what this is. Yeah, it's a blueprint. One of Doc's blueprints. Let's see if I can fit it on the screen. This is a huge contraption he has on his head. I think it's called the brainwave analyzer. So he kind of tries to use it to analyze the brainwaves. He made that back in 1955. So that was the younger version of Doc that made it. And yeah, he tried to read Marty's brain with that, but it was kind of huge. And just the blueprint, actually, look at that. That is one big blueprint. I think that was everything that was in the second envelope. Nice stuff. It's also worth noting that the envelope is themed like the hoverboard, which is used in the second movie. And the first envelope was actually kind of the radioactive one, you know, the whole theme of that was the way that they fueled the time machine in the first movie. And the third one is basically like a, I don't know what, like a business envelope for Doc's business. Dr. E. Brown Enterprises. 24-hour scientific services. And it has a lot of coffee stains on it. Oh, this is nice. It says on the front, time travel machine schematic diagrams. So these are going to be the plans for the time travel machines. His other inventions, his most important ones. And there are indeed 3 plans in here. Alright, cool. Let me see. Let's do them in order of the movies. So, this is the blueprint for the first DeLorean, the one that was fueled by nuclear power that was used in the first movie. As you can see, it just runs on wheels. It's basically a schematic of the DeLorean. and then with everything added on there. And a few notes made by Doc. It is a 1981 DeLorean DMC-12, in case you were wondering. Yeah, that's the first blueprint. The second one, for the second movie, looks a little more shiny, like a little more neon. That was the upgrade. That was still a DeLorean. That was the same DeLorean that they used. Wow. In the movie, at least. Yeah, it's all kind of more, you know, digital. Look at the text. It's not handwritten. It's actually typed. But the big differences are, one, the fact that the car can fly, so the wheels kind of flip down. You probably remember that at the end of the first movie. And the second thing is that this is a new power source. It was called Mr. Fusion. And what it did is it turned all kind of trash, like cans, banana peels, whatever they could find, and turned it into power that they could use to power the car with. In the third movie, the DeLorean, well, it did play a part in the third movie. But it was destroyed right at the end because they used train tracks to get back from 1885 to 1985. And they used a locomotive for a train to kind of get it to the proper speed and whatnot, because they didn't have another way to power it. Now, as the DeLorean entered the present, there was a present day train that rolled in and destroyed the whole car, kind of leaving Doc behind. But Doc showed up at the end of the movie with his new invention, and his whole family, by the way. He actually made the train that he used, he made it into a time machine. And that is the schematic for that train. The steam-powered time machine. Locomotive and tender. Dr. Emmett Lathrop Brown, 1893. That's when he made it. But yeah, that's the plan for that locomotive. And tender, apparently. Look at that. That is cool. Yeah, and at the end of the train, it opens up, and Clara's in there, and the kids are in there. It's a beautiful moment. It's the closing of a trilogy that I hope they never remake, but that will be in my heart forever. And that was it. That was everything that was in there. And to be honest, I'm happy. I'm really happy. There's some unique extra pieces to add to my kit that I already had. If you like the movies, if you're a fan of those movies like I am, it is such a nice thing to get. Such a nice thing to have. And as I said, this expansion is going to be available over on the Dr. Collector website on July 19th. A big thank you, Dr. Collector, for sending me this. I enjoyed this so much. I'm going to put them next to each other right there up on my cabinet. Guys, let me know in the comments what your favorite part was of this whole set. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And make sure to subscribe. There's more videos coming every single week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.